Hello, let me share with you an experience I've just had reorganizing my messy blog at lasala.net, where I've gone from having messy tags, messy categories, to something that now this is a live view of the blog. The tags are actually more consistent, they are tidier, they better represent what I have on my 20-year-old blog with close to 600 posts now, and then also tidy categories. So let me show how I got to that, working on this the last few days. So the need, I'm approaching, as I said, 600 posts published to this blog, and to understand my areas of interest, understand where I've been and where I might go next. I want to visualize a tag cloud, right, like that, that represents what I've written about. I need to facilitate finding all posts in a certain topic. I need tags and categories that represent my content well. Because over the years, like from the technical side, I've gone from working with FoxPro to C Sharp, .NET to Ruby on Rails, and then back to C Sharp. I've gone from using Evernote to Obsidian. And so all of these jumps from one thing to another, they kind of like started appearing on this tag cloud. And I also want to make it easy to share my content with people who ask for help in areas I've written about. That's part of one of the reasons why I started a blog, which is as I am asked questions, and they are recurring questions, I'm like, you know what? Before I give you the answer, let me write it out and post it, and I'll give you a link to the answer. Or sometimes it happens the other way. I give the answer multiple times and I realize, well, I know that I've been asked that before and I've given a very similar answer. Let me just write it, post it. Next time I can just point people to those, and over time, I grew bigger blog posts or talks just out of that content. So that's the need, right? And the problem that I've had for quite some time is a long list of categories. Some categories only had one post, some posts were assigned to multiple categories, and over 200 posts, that is 1/3 of the total posts, were uncategorized. So I had a long list of categories, and 1/3 of my posts were not even set to any category. Inconsistent tags, AI, artificial intelligence, VBB, virtual brown bag, several posts that were not even tagged despite having so many tags. Some categories and posts overlapped, like I had a testing category and a testing tag. So whenever I would create a new blog post and go to either tag or put in a category, I would go like, well, which one am I supposed to use? I don't even know anymore. And some posts existed in more than one category, and many without any tags applied. So it was a mess, right? And it's been sitting there for a while. So the solution, I reworked the taxonomy of my blog, according to my content as it exists today. I don't know where I'm going to be going in the future as far as content, areas of interest, and so on. And the way I think about it today. Some categories and or tags made sense to me originally, but not anymore. So maybe when I first wrote a blog post and I went to like categorize and tag it, I used to think about that topic in one way. And then years later, maybe that initial way that I was thinking about it kind of like faded away, or maybe I added other things that I was not even aware of within that one topic that I wrote. So I wanted to revise that. So the execution, how did I solve that problem according to that need? I got some AI help, right? So I worked with ChatGPT, where I took a screenshot of my tag cloud and the categories, and I prompted it with, "You are a blogging specialist. My blog uses tags and categories. The posts aren't consistently tagged and or categorized. I want all my posts to be properly tagged and categorized. I often use the tag cloud to see my main areas of interest through the volume of posts in those tags. I often send people links to either a tag or category to recommend a group of my posts to them. I need an analysis of all of my blog posts, almost 600 of them. Suggestions to clean up the tags. For example, if a tag has only been applied to one post, the tag should probably be removed. Suggestions to clean up the categories, and an automated way to fix tags and categories through all posts. I do not want to do that manually. That's probably why I've been pushing that for a long time. So this is like part of what I got back. If we scroll through this is pretty much that prompt. So I got back like project goals recap, and then it restated or summarized what I gave it. Data extraction, tag and category cleanup rules, automation options. Next step for you, right? So it gave me guidance about exporting the posts from WordPress, and then with that, ChatGPT will be able to parse through all tags and categories, get tag health reports, and so on. So I worked with those recommendations. I kept having the conversation. Eventually, it created like a count of per tag, per category, the frequency to see the ones that I used a lot, the ones I never used. Like for instance, like tags here. I had one in personal growth, one in personal development. Should they be the same? One on philosophy, one on blogging, one on writing tips. So those were one off. So need to be consolidated. So as I kept going through that, eventually I got to a point where it said, okay, here is a Python script that we can use. Once we got to that point, I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to move on now because I don't want to do the coding part in ChatGPT. But moving on, something else that it gave me, here we go. What I did was I manually went through now that I saw the table with the counts, I'm like, you know what? Some of those I'll just go into WordPress because I have my blog post hosted in WordPress. So I went there, I accessed my list of tags, sorted by the frequency, and then I just started removing all of the tags that had like one post, two, three posts. I just removed them. Came back here, also categories. I did the same. Came here and I said, I've already removed and consolidated some tags and removed some categories. Analyze my blog posts, tags, and categories and suggest strategies to keep them tidy and useful. And I gave it the XML exports that contains all of those posts. So this is what it came back with. Category strategy, high-level themes. By the way, I had some categories like multi-hierarchy, like software development, underneath that, presentations, C#, .NET, and so on. So here's just like a high-level, top-level, flat list. Software development, testing and quality, AI and productivity, career and mentoring. So it came up with that list based on the things it found through the analysis it did. And then it suggested, what is the purpose? Why am I suggesting you those categories? So I read through it, like, okay, that's actually a pretty good list. I ended up going with most of this. I dropped the archive legacy posts. I didn't want to do that. And I added two other ones that I wanted to have. I went with the recommendation to keep categories under 10 total. They should answer what type of content is this rather than what is it about. That's what tags are for. And then it gave me a tag strategy, right? Keep certain tags, merge others. Right? That's good. Which ones to remove, reassign. I like this point here that it made, the ongoing hygiene process, like how to keep, once this is all done, how do I keep moving forward, uh, you know, cleaning up the new contents that I'll be creating. And optional automations, like, yeah, I need to automate things. um, so yeah, I uploaded things there. It took a current snapshot of what I had, so it gave me some more suggestions. Later I said, okay, I like these suggestions for categories, so I told it what I'm going with. These are the ones that I will also be using: newsletter archive and the blank page podcast. So 2 categories specific to those 2 things that I've been actively involved with the last couple of months. Then what else did I say? And then here's something I said. I've updated the list of categories in WordPress to ensure that these categories exist. I didn't remove any of the other ones yet. I have several blog posts that are in the uncategorized category simply because I have not set their categories. They are not legacy, because that's an assumption ChatGPT had made. So I said they are not legacy posts. Many were created in the last few months. Like there were a few from last week that were uncategorized. They were not legacy. Well, they were legacy because, yeah, it was not posted today. You got the point. I need help analyzing all of those uncategorized posts and setting them to the most appropriate category. All right, so it gives me some ideas, some analysis. We kept the conversation going. And then here's what I decided to do. I said, okay, at this point, I think I got the taxonomy suggestions and analysis and suggestions done. I got a good idea of how to move forward with that. Now, the whole automation part, to do that work, I didn't want to do it in ChatGPT. I wanted to drop it in a tool such as Cursor to continue the work from there, develop the scripts there and the workflow there. So I told ChatGPT, summarize my motives and plans so I can use it in Cursor to have more control over the refinements and automation scripts. And then it gave me the summary, right? What is it that I'm trying to do? What are the categories, the tag strategy, automation goals, right? Technical stack preference. So it gave me all those things. Perfect. I was able to copy this into Cursor, use the plan mode and say, here's something that I'm trying to achieve, come up with a plan of execution, right? See what else. And then later came back, I think before I did the Cursor work, all posts have been reassigned to the clean list of 9 categories, analyze these latest exports, and suggest my final list of tags based upon the categories. So this is what happened, and I will show you in just a little bit. After I did the first run of working the categories, putting the posts in the proper categories, I did another export, I dumped it here, and then I said, okay, now that the categories are all worked out, now run another analysis to give me a final list of the tags that I might go with. So this is what it came up with, that it created per category, right? Software development, testing, quality. What are the tags that have the most to do with those categories? And then it suggested, here are some core software dev tags. Here are some core testing tags based on what it found. So it reduced the list of tags. It's somewhat loosely associated with the main category, but ultimately I've made it so that, yeah, I may have a tag that like often is related to testing quality, but I may want to apply to a posting AI productivity. It's okay to do that. It's just like an overall grouping of tags. So I like that. It's like, okay, that's a pretty good, well structured list. And then I just said, I'm lazy. I don't want to get the whole thing there. Just write me a list of core tags per category. So I ended up with this. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Very tidy, make a final pass. Once I had all of that in, or that was part of actually the whole work, right? So as I said, documented the plan and switched to cursor is what you just saw, calling out also the ongoing. I don't just want to fix what's there right now. I want to keep that going moving forward. So I dropped into cursor. This is, I can actually move over here, right? And then working with cursor after that, it created 3 areas, assigning uncategorized posts. So it worked that out. Then reassigning categories. So once all of the uncategorized posts, like over 200 of them, as I said, once they were put in good categories, then I was left with posts that were assigned to some of the pre-existing categories, but it was not a good organization. So I worked with cursor to say, okay, now we're going to look at those posts and we're going to analyze those posts to put them in better spots. And last but not least, reassigning the tags. We'll get there in just a moment. So when cursor was done creating the script and support to work through the uncategorized posts, it created the scripts, it created multiple scripts, it created this README file to tell us what that feature set does, right? So AI powered categorization using OpenAPI or LM Studio. So the first iteration of this plan, it told me to use OpenAI. And then I asked, like, how much is that gonna cost? And then it gave me like an estimation, like $7, $8 or something like that for the whole thing. But then I remember it's like, oh, wait a minute. I have LM Studio running on my machine, so I can run a local model. The ones I have installed is DeepSeek and OpenGPT. Yeah, I hope I got the name right. We're going to see it in just a little bit. So I have that running local, so I can run that for free. Okay. I had not done anything like that yet. So I told Cursor, I said, hey, I have LM Studio running. And then it told me, oh, that's even better. It's free and this and that. So I said, that's what we're going to do. Confidence-based auto application. High confidence suggestions applied automatically. As I was working with Cursor, it asked me, right, do you want to review every single suggestion or do you want to auto apply based on a confidence based on a confidence level? So I told it automatically assign the ones that you're high confident on, or that the AI is highly confident on. Manual review workflow for uncertain cases via a CSV file. So anything that you find with like low confidence, create a CSV file, bring it up so I can manually review, and then we can assign. Use the WordPress REST API integration to update the posts with in this case the categories. Have a dry run mode to preview the changes before applying, right, to not make the mess even worse. And comprehensive error handling and logging, right? So this all came through after some back and forth with Cursor to refine this plan. And then it split the usage of these scripts in the following manner. First, we parse the XML export that we get from WordPress. Then it runs the AI categorization using my LM Studio locally, giving it the posts, analyzing it, and suggesting the category for the post, apply the high confidence suggestions, and last but not least, do a dry run. And if needed, I perform a manual review, go through it, indicate which ones I want to approve, and if I want to change the category, final category, and then last but not least, just apply those. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So got that in place. Next, let's see, whoops, there we go. So started with those categories. As I said, no way to do it by hand. Let's work with AI. We've just gone over that. It's just a repetition of that. This is what, if you haven't seen LM Studio yet, it's a free tool. You can download what models you want to use. Yeah, GPT OSS, that's the name that I was looking for, because the DeepSeek that I have here is 7 billion parameters. The GPT OSS is 20 billion parameters, right? So this is a screenshot of, as I saw the script processing things, I saw the information that was sending in and the reasoning that it was applying to, which is kind of cool to see. I often don't spend a whole lot of time doing that, or it depends on what I'm working with the AI, what I'm prompting it with. But like I saw things like this, right? There was a post that it was processing, and then the content, it was reasoning with, okay, the category here, personal growth, the confidence, 80%, reasoning. The post reflects on the author's blogging habits, life changes, and tool preferences, topics that fall under personal development and self-reflection rather than technical or professional categories. Reasoning, we need category. It's about blogging habits, personal life, tools, not software dev, testing, AI, career, improving community, personal growth. It's more about blogging process, personal growth journaling. So personal growth, confidence, 80%, right? So that's where the suggestion came from. I thought it was cool to like randomly see those and what it was doing with it. Once it was done, it came back with the categorization results, right? Like here are the suggestions I'm making after the analysis. So for this post ID, whatever it got from WordPress, this title, this is the slug to the blog post, the content. Last week I attended Jake's excellent talk at the Agile Leadership Network, and so on. The current category, uncategorized. In current categories, because as I said, I had some posts that were set originally in multiple categories. I would see here what it was working with, and then suggested category, AI and productivity. Confidence, 92. I agree, right? Reasoning. The post discusses an AI enhanced productivity talk and reflects on how AI accelerates teams. Like, yep, 100%. I'm like, so I went through this and I saw like how it evaluated things. I'm like, yep, I agree. Yep, I agree. And for the ones that I didn't, let me see. Okay, before I show that, I want to show the CSV file. I just opened here in Numbers to see it as a spreadsheet like that, so I could go through and say, okay, let's say like Snagit integration with team system, the slug, current category, none, suggested category, what is it suggesting, the AI confidence score, right? 30, 70, 70, 80, 45, right? The AI reasoning for suggesting this, but a little bit of the content preview so that I could see any existing tags. Like most posts didn't even have any tag associated with it. And then once I revealed that, I went through, I updated this, reassigning what categories I wanted. And then I just said, action, approve them all. Initially, Cursor wanted me to like put the name of the tag, the category that I wanted to use instead of the suggested one, or to say reject and not do anything to it. I decided on the fly, it's like, that's going to be way too much work. I'm just put approve, copy, paste through all of them, make sure that the suggested category has what I want, and say, okay, run with it. So after I did that, right, in the end, it gave me a summary of everything that just happened. Total posts, 210. Confidence, almost 90% average. 182 posts above 85, which I'm like, that is pretty good. And then 28 posts need review. It's what we were just looking in that CSV file. Quickly went through it. Yes, no, yes, no. Let me think about this. Okay, change to that. Go. And then the distribution, like how it ended. 54 talks and presentations, 51 software development, and so on. So that was pretty cool to see done. Then, as I said, I worked with it to create another script that will go through posts that are assigned to categories that don't match the new 9 categories, and then reassign them using AI. So it created that. This was a fun one that I found and I tracked. Content, tag, community, confidence 95. Tag, events, confidence 90. Reasoning, the post announces upcoming live music gigs, which is a community focused event. The primary themes are gathering people for performances, events, and fostering local engagement, community. Reasoning, we need tags relevant. Community, events, it's about gigs. Category, improving in community. Tags available, community, events, user group. But it's a band. I thought that was pretty funny because for the most part, it was seeing community related things that had to do with software development, technical concerns. In this case, it figured out, oh, it's a band, right? So maybe community and events, also maybe talks. No. So choose 2 to 3 tags, provide confidence. That was kind of fun when I've run into like randomly into some of those. Those are the tags I've ended up with, as I mentioned before. And see, what did I want to show here? That's another example as it was processing tags, right? So that was the third script. So for the tags, what I told it to do was to now go through the posts. You have a better category now. So I said, you look at the post, you look at the category, you look at the current tags, and then you evaluate based on all of that which of the new tags in the tag structure you should set. And then through chat or from ChatGPT's recommendation, I told the script, you assign anywhere between 3 to 7 tags. Not 1, not 0, not 10, between 3 and 7. Those were the directions. So got things like this, processing this one post, content, tags, C#, confidence 95, refactoring, confidence 70, tag, patterns, confidence 60, reasoning, the post showcases advanced C# link usage to query reflection data, which is common refactoring technique for simplifying code. It also demonstrates pattern-like querying across assemblies. Reasoning, need tags, software development, C#, refactoring, it's about link queries, reflection. Tags, C#, refactoring, maybe patterns, but main is C# feature. So tags, C#, refactoring, not really refactoring, maybe patterns, no. Testing, no. Automation, no. So choose C#, refactoring. I'd pick C# and maybe reflection, but not in list. there's no reflection tag. So it was pretty funny, like going through those, right? And then here it says, but 3 to 7 tags. And then I'll pick C sharp, refactoring, patterns, confidence high for C sharp, 95, refactoring 70, patterns 60. Kind of fun going through that. Not for every single post, but again, randomly finding some of those. Oh, I messed up my thing here. Some other, I don't remember what I got. This one, oh, that was the same one. I apologize. The dry run after running through the tags, 517 posts can be auto applied. So close to 600, 517, it felt like it could auto apply tags, all tags greater than 70% confidence, and that was configurable. I could actually call the script with whatever confidence percentage I wanted. Said for tags, I think that's already pretty good. The preview shows the tags look reasonable, ready to apply. Tag structure working correctly. Yep. And then it came back with a CSV. I went through that CSV for the ones that it said, yeah, you may need to review this. I looked through the tags. I made some corrections right there in that spreadsheet. I set everything to approve and I say, go, auto apply all of those. And you go up here. There we go. All right. So now I didn't save that here. My apologies. Here we go. All right. So now looking at the blog here. All right. As I said, the categories very tidy, very compact, more meaningful. The tag cloud more condensed, consolidated, but more meaningful, more representative of the way I see the volume and the content that I have on my blog. Better organization. And going back over, whoops, here, something that I found during this process that was entertaining I couldn't see this here. This was in 2010. I had this blog post that I was moving my blog to WordPress because previously I had my blog hosted by this old service by Microsoft called Spaces, Live Spaces, I think it was called. Then Microsoft was about to phase out that service. I moved all of my blog posts over to WordPress because they had some tool from Live Spaces to move it over to WordPress. I said, let me use it. And then again, this was in 2010. I blogged, I'll go through my old posts and better organize them. It only took me 15 years to do that. And I need to run some analysis to see like 15 years and how many posts. My guess, 2010, that was 5 years after posting, maybe 400 posts, if not more, because I was not as actively blogging those first 5 years, at least the way I remember, right? It only took 15 years to do that. So I want to end this with a question, which is, what else will I find? Because I'll keep going through some of these older posts. I've been doing that already, and I keep finding some little gems, things that I even forgot that I wrote, and then it causes pondering. I wonder what else I'm gonna find as I keep digging through some of that. And what might you find if you look back at things that maybe you've been putting off? Like for me, putting off cleaning up and reorganizing my my blog. that's something that happened because like I don't have time to do that. That's kind of boring work, busy work. I don't want to do that. I know it has to be done, but I don't want to do that. Well, with the tools that we have now, something that took me a few hours, I should have logged. I actually have logged someplace how many hours it took me to do this work, but it took me a few hours over days that would take me to process hundreds of blog posts manually or any other way. So, just quickly going back to, I want to show, and you are welcome to explore my blog, but like looking through some of the blog posts, like this one. This one is actually my latest. I just put out 2 days ago, right? And it already auto assigned the category and the tags, like this one: habits, productivity, reading, reflection, time tracking. Yes, this truly represents this blog post. Capturing the human side of software with AI tools, from my podcast with Matthew, the Blank Page podcast. What is this one about? AI, blank page, creativity, reflection, storytelling. Yep, that's pretty good. Just one more. BDD, but not the way you heard it before. What is this one about? BDD, communication, teams, testing, spot on. And I didn't have to do anything. So now that I have these scripts, as I put up a new blog post, I'll probably just automate calling these scripts so that it will auto set the category, auto set the tags, and I don't have to think about. So it streamlines my blogging process. So again, think through things that you might find if you go over like past ideas that you had, little projects, side things that you wanted to do and you didn't do because you didn't have the tools, you didn't have the time, maybe the skills at the time. Well, now you can build the skills using these tools. You can build the tools, you can use the existing tools, right? It just have to do it. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time.